are back here on the party. We are in the second hour, and we're here with Paul Sheppard from Navigator, Black and the Indighost.
Hey, how's it going?
You got an album out
Coming
soon.
in. Yes, Thursday.
Out soon.
Yep.
That's the key word. Soon.
Soon. In the upcoming future.
Paul, I will grease slap you so hard.
It was coming. I knew it was coming.
So, do you want to talk a little bit about your album and the recording of said album?
Sure, why not? Well, it's 24 tracks, encompassing the majority of the songs that Alex, Navigator Black, and I wrote for the first 2 years of the band. We started in late December of 2010, and we played our first show that wasn't a debaucherous Christmas show in January of 2011. So it basically encompasses from January of 2011 until somewhere like mid 2012. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it's 24 tracks. We kind of think of it as having two sides. There's like disc 1 and disc 2, but in fact it's just 12 tracks and then another 12 tracks. I think worked out to 12 and 12. But yeah, the first 12 are more. They're not specifically just the first year and second year. It just kind of worked out that way for flow.
Okay. So did you guys record it yourself?
Yeah. Alex has a diploma? Yeah, diploma in music and recording arts. So he knows his stuff. So we just used his laptop. We used really rudimentary equipment. Mm-hmm. Mixed it ourselves. Did all the recording. Mostly in his place on Prescott when he lived there, and finished it when he was living on Hamilton. There are some vocal parts. I'm using air quotes there because everyone on the radio can tell. That we had to do multiple times that are just ridiculous, that I feel bad for any neighbors or roommates that he had at the time, because it was just silly. Just yelling ridiculous things.
Back here on the party with Paul Sheppard. We just heard some Navigator Black and the Indighost by Digital Jazz. You were saying that you drew some inspiration from a movie for that song.
That one was written, it's again really early on in what we were writing and recording. It might be based on, loosely, or at least inspired by Tron Legacy, or a line from Tron Legacy where the term biodigital jazz is mentioned, and we're just like, we were sitting there in the theater watching this movie, and I think we actually looked at each other and we're like, that's awesome, that's a song right there. That's a song. So, but yeah, pretty much every song on this album has some stupid story behind it, or like a stupid idea, or a brilliant idea, or a stupid idea.
Yeah, like how do you, I guess, do you just kind of hear a phrase and decide, hey, we're going to name a song that, and kind of draw off that, or is the music written first and then
it depends.
You find a name? It
depends. Like I find a lot of the earlier stuff was derived from ideas of trying to find a certain sound. Like the song Boneyard, which is on the first disc, again air quotes because everyone can see me. Boneyard is sort of about like, I think Alex referred to it as being on a date, like walking along in a what would actually be a dinosaur graveyard and things like that. And there's just weird concepts that we draw. Time surfing is clearly about surfing through time on a hoverboard. There's lots of things about hoverboards. 1985 was about a post-apocalyptic 1985, loosely based on something from the Back to the Future series, or like an alternate reality in that.
Cool. I guess, like, not necessarily, like, I don't know what word to use without sounding stupid. Do you have any,
or brilliant.
Yeah. Not, like, necessarily situational inspiration, but do you, I guess, draw any inspiration from, like, other creators? There we go, that's a good word. Creators of music.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like that. I was thinking, coming in here, I was like, I wonder if we're just going to actually just play tracks from the album, or should I request a couple songs that would have been inspiration? Like we used to, before we went down to play shows, we would always like, and even when we were jamming, for the first little while we were jamming every day for I think 2 or 3 months straight, and we would sit down before we even jammed and listen to like an album all the way through, or try some new music or something, and we used to go down and bring like a CD. So when we were setting up, we'd be like, "Hey, can you put this on while we're setting up?"
Okay.
So we had like Beck's Midnight Vultures, I Get Wet, Andrew WK, all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, even one of the songs on the album it has a name based on it's actually the one we're going to play next, come to think of it. It's actually not named after a local band, but we're friends with them, and we took and we're like, yeah, it's kind of fun to have their name on there, and The Citizen being that band and that song.
All right, here it is. We're back here on the party on CHMR.
Yes, we are.
I'm your host, Warren Jordan.
And I'm Chelsea Skanes.
We're sitting here with Paul Sheppard.
That we are.
From Navigator Black and the Indighost, who have a new album coming out next Thursday.
Yes.
And they also have a CD release next Thursday. Would you like to...
Because we're actually not releasing it on a CD at this point.
Okay.
It's just going to be downloads at this point. But yeah, we're having a party. We're going to have download cards. We're going to have all sorts of new merch and a lot of good bands playing.
So who was playing?
Right.
Give us the details.
All right. Well, it's going to be the album release party is this Thursday, the 19th, which is a full moon. In case that matters to you, which it doesn't. I just thought it'd be fun.
Did you guys actually plan that?
I had 3 dates available. One I was like, that's too early. One I was like, that's too late. I could take this Thursday. That's a full moon. All right, why not? It's enough into the semester that people have money and are willing to spend it at this point, which is fun because we also have 3 for $10 Jaeger bombs right across the deck from the Leffy that has 3 for $5 beer.
Cool.
So it's going to be at CBTG's starting at 9. We're going to listen to the entire album, all 24 tracks, all hour and 45 minutes of it, and then we're going to have Mopey Mumble Mouse open up the night. Then I believe it's Lionel Wolf now. We did have DT and the Dinosaurs, but I think they had to drop, so we had to get one of DT's other bands to fill in. Then the Drunks Rule This Place are going to play a set, and then Alex and I, Navigator Black and the Indighost, are going to close out the night with as many tracks from the album as we can fit in. Cover's going to be $7. We're going to have download cards available for 10. We're doing a deal that if you come in and you want to get the download card at the door, pay $15, you'll get cover, you'll get a download card, and you'll also get a signed picture of Alex and I. It's the first official band photo. It was taken like New Year's of 2010, where I'm wearing a suit, Alex is just wearing like a hoodie, and we'd been joking before that about how we had to have the traditional band photograph where one person stares off into the distance looking really like reflective, and the other person just looks depressed.
Yeah.
So it's like younger versions of us kind of just done up and clearly drinking at the time, just being silly. So we have those to sign and give away as part of that $15 door fee.
Fabulous.
Sounds like a party.
Does though.
I think we should hear another track off that album.
Sounds
Sure.
good.
Let's put on Broken Knuckle. It's a bit heavier. We are actually inspired by the Drunks. The Drunks Rule This Place, one of the bands that's playing. They were going to have an album release not this summer, but the summer before that, 2012. It didn't come about quite the way they wanted it to, but we were going to be playing their album release show, and we decided to write something a bit heavier than what we usually do. So we came up with Broken Knuckle.
Very cool.
Back here on the party on CHMR.
Yes, we are.
We just heard Jupiter's Garden by Navigator Black and the Indighost from their new debut album, which will be out next Thursday at their album release show.
It's very true. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and where it's happening, and I guess just refresh
you mean
people's
like
minds?
I just did? Okay, yeah.
No, but it's very important to refresh
again,
people's minds.
Wait, what am I doing? Refreshing people's minds?
Yes.
If we repeat it enough, do we refresh their minds?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's what happens.
Maybe people are just tuning in.
It's like holding the 2 buttons on your phone so it resets, and then all they'll remember is the stuff about the Navigator Black and the Indigo show.
I hold 1 button on my phone.
Okay, well.
Anyway. The album release party is this Thursday, the 19th, down at CBTG's. We're doing a listening party from 9 until almost 11. Then we have 3 awesome bands playing before Alex and I hit the stage and try to play a couple of songs from the album. We're going to have download codes available. We're getting shirts made. We're getting some silkscreen posters made. We might have a handful of other posters that we've done up over the past couple of years available. And hopefully we have some stickers on the way. I don't know if they're going to be here, but we have a ton, and we'll probably be giving some away or bundling them with things. No reasonable offer is going to be refused, but we're unreasonable people. So
very cool. I don't know if you want to make the announcement before we continue.
Yes, we would like to point out that we just reached 200 likes on Facebook.
Was it my fault?
Very much.
Yes.
It might have been. I don't know.
Who was the 200th like?
Ariel Keith.
Was Eric Keith? Well, thank you for number 200, and thank you for tuning in and listening to the show. Continue on with the interview.
All right.
I have a question. What? Go ahead.
Go on.
I have a question. So, have you guys been getting like a reception for like people anticipating the album coming out?
There seem to be a lot of people excited. A lot of our friends that we know, or people that we talk to on a regular basis, I guess they'd be acquaintances because we don't trust them. They're not friends. They're not our friends. Talking about how they're excited. They're excited for the show. A lot of people have been saying they're like, yeah, I booked at least the first half of the next day off because we're just gonna consume adult beverages.
Lots of juice boxes.
Yeah, juice boxes and poppin' chips. But yeah, people seem to be excited. I have like a couple people talking about how they're going to come down. We made terrible shirts before that were just like secondhand things, or I used to work at a laundromat and there was a lost and found, so anything that was there too long that we were just going to get rid of anyway, I would take and like ruin by writing Navigator Black on the Indighost on it, or draw some design on it, and we give those away or sell them for chump change. And people are like, I'm gonna bring mine down and wear it for like old time's sake. And I'm like, well, we're gonna have new shirts that are gonna be actually good. Because Pink Eye Printing, a local company, silkscreen company, is doing them up for us, and same with the posters.
Cool.
So do you have a favorite, I guess, personal track off the album?
Probably not. It's like there's a lot of variation in the album to stroke my ego.
Yeah.
So it's really every time I try to write up a description of the band, I always talk about how there are songs that are like sweet and psychedelic and like moody and ambient. Then there's really darker songs. There's more upbeat, dancey songs. We've mentioned, Alex and I have discussed before how at shows people either seem to if they don't leave, because we've actually been told before in like from our early shows that we were known for clearing rooms.
Ouch!
Oh no, we were talking about it earlier this week too.
Oh,
we were like, why the hell did people bring us back? We're like, our first couple shows were interesting. But yeah, so the people, if they don't leave, they either really want to dance and enjoy the music, or they want to actually just sit and listen and try to pick apart what's actually going on.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what we do is lots of layers at the same time, changing in and out, and that's the way the song is structured, by like pieces sliding in, sliding out, disappearing, coming to the forefront, and I'm making lots of arm gestures that describe all these things.
So do you feel as though, I guess, there's a common theme running throughout your album, or do you feel it's just, woo?
The common theme is almost that it's the first 2 years, it's the journey of those first 2 years as a band. A lot of the first songs I mentioned were more conceptual, where they were looking at sounds, where ones later on, sometimes we wrote songs because, hey, we have new equipment, let's try this out. And they were more songs that would come up with titles and ideas behind them as we were coming up with them, as opposed to having the idea and building it from there. So it's really that journey and that change. The last track on the album, we've only played live. I think we got halfway through it once and just died laughing because it was one that we wrote and never intended to play, because it sounds like we have it at the end of the album because it sounds like it's going somewhere. It sounds like it's that end, like a cliffhanger kind of thing, that it sounds like there's something coming after it. But where was I going with this? That song is Mr. Popular, if you want to know.
Cool.
Yeah, let's hear another track off the album. Yeah.
Time surfing?
Yeah, let's hear time surfing.
Played that on here before.
Yeah. All right, we're back here on the party one last time. We'd like to say thank you very much to the songwriters for coming in and having a ball with us in the first hour, and thank you to Paul for coming in and sharing his lovely album that will be out next week.
Yep.
So check that out.
Thursday. Once again, thank you for having me. This is probably the smoothest show I've been in here for.
They get progressively smoother, thank
no,
God.
No, last time was the apex of terrible.
Anyway. Thank you to everybody, and also thank you to people for liking our Facebook page. We're at 200 now. I believe we're at 203 or 204.
Yeah, 203.
203?
People don't want me dead, apparently.
That's good. That's good.
We'll let them go.
Stay tuned for The Power of the Beat with DJ Massive. Thanks very much. We'll be back next week with The Suits. We'll see you guys later.